Okay then, here I am up in the trees again. It does happen a bit. In another contemplation location. It seems I do a fair bit of contemplating, doesn't it? It seems to help in clearing the mind, it clears the gut, and then all of a sudden more consciousness comes. Oh, simple, huh? So, Manipura. What I'd like to discuss today with you is, do you know people, or has it happened to you that you've been on the spiritual path and then off and then on and off again? Yeah? I know. I see it with lots of people, and the way I describe it is heartbreakingly hilarious, because I see it, it's heartbreaking. You know, you want to see people improve themselves and help and become better people, and then help others. That's amazing. That's the whole point. And hilarious is just because I know exactly what's going on. I've got the solutions. There's many of them, but the person's mind is usually the one that gets in the way. And there's a lot of people in the spiritual path who are demonizing the ego and all these sorts of things. Okay, that's not helping. That's essentially, in my view, just facilitating the programming. You know, it's a mind-driven concept, possibly judgment of oneself, which is never helpful. And so it's all up in the head, when really the solution is almost always in the gut. So this concept occurred through me that, okay, person is trying to improve themselves on the spiritual path, they're trying to love themselves, they're trying to love everybody else, and they're on and off. Why is that? It doesn't make sense, you know. The mind is on purpose, the heart is right on target, so we're going down the chakras. Solar plexus is next. Yeah, okay, let's look there. There's a number of digestive organs attached through the solar plexus, being such a strong nervous system junction. But the main one is the pancreas. Okay, let's look at what the pancreas does. It's essentially blood sugar regulation. So one's rate of blood sugar levels, it goes up and down. Does that look like the same sine wave that an energy wave goes? Yeah. Is that the same as people's emotional states that are up and down when let's say their blood sugar levels aren't level? Yeah, absolutely. So I investigated a little bit and found this concept called blood sugar glycation. So what happens is, in simple terms, there's toxins or free radicals, which, you know, are the precursors to inflammation. And with that extra oxygenated blood going through the body, through our spiritual practices, our pranayama and our breathing and our meditation techniques, then it shows up the problems the imbalances we still have to fix. So if there's free radicals, say, in the shoulder and some in the elbow as well, and they can be anywhere, then if we have this extra oxygenated blood and it goes to that spot and there's some free radicals and inflammation that doesn't have protection from fats and oils and other different things in the diet, then those free radicals don't like it. Hang on, there's too much space, we're growing because there's extra oxygen in an acidic environment. They flourish and then they spread and they go further and further. So naturally, when that's happening, you're not going to feel too good. And what people tend to do is externalize the problem because they don't want to face it. It's possibly too tricky, or they're not sure what it is. So they'll say, oh, it was that spiritual practice, it was that meditation, it was that yogic practice. Whereas really, those things are designed to help you. They're spiritual healing practices that are beautiful natural health rituals that we can use to improve ourselves. So that's not really possible. It's not feasible. It's the pancreas that is causing those emotional ups and downs and those externalizing because it's too difficult to face. And the nervous system doesn't want to deal with the situation from the conscious mind perspective. So if we can come back to loving ourselves and then witness ourselves by coming to a nice spot in Mother Nature and just processing through the emotional stuff that our mind has chosen to attach to these toxins or these free radicals, and then actually get through it. Either do the process, keep doing it, or rest and relax. Because most guides, any good guide or teacher will suggest to you that if you've got blood sugar glycation going on, you need to rest and we need to take care of that one before we can expand. Because if we choose to try to expand, there becomes more air in the body. By putting in more oxygenated blood that's stopping essentially here, then the heart gets bigger and the heart tries to expand and pump out as much blood as possible. And that's amazing. That's a beautiful concept. More love, more circulation. Love it. But guess what? Coming back is the lymphatic system. So, and if that's full of free radicals and toxins, then you can put out as much love as you give, as much as you choose, according to your mind and your drive and your will. But receiving it, it's just dirty and it doesn't feel right because it's got so much stuff going on. So how is it possible to give and receive an equal and balanced amount of love in that situation? It's not possible. If you can explain that to me, I'd love to understand it without an egoic mind justification, that is, because I have yet to hear one that's grounded, balanced, and actually a holistic perspective. So hopefully that's provided some sort of clarity for you, and there are a number of solutions to these things, especially minerals, flushing, detoxes, and cinnamon is amazing. There are many, but the main and biggest one is fasting, because then the body eats up its own free radicals. So yeah, feel into that one, see how we go, and if you want some solutions, there's always plenty around. Just ask. Yeah, just ask, and the consciousness will come.